Welcome to the Language Power Podcast. After listening to this course, the student will be able to present themselves in Norwegian, understand the basics of Norwegian small talk, have a basic understanding of local Norwegian customs and traditions, count to 7, correct other people's grammar, appreciate hot food from petrol stations, gossip about people when they're not around, and hunt the white deer with northern natives. Welcome to Language Power.
Wow, so welcome.
The power that language are all about. We haven't sorted out the tagline yet, but jeg heter, this means my name is Zahid. This is a course to learn you Norwegian in 17 years. Lære dere norsk på 17 år. Oh, I'm talking to the Norwegians, if they're listening. So with me today I have a student who just arrived to Norway to attend this class, and then he will travel back again. His name is
Jamie Andrews.
Jamie Andrews. What a foreign name. So Jamie, in Norway we have a problem with please teach me.
Pronunciation
of foreign names, and there are almost many, or just one political Norwegian party also that would love to have foreign names be Norwegianized, as you have some Chinese people who call themselves like Bruce Lee. His real name was something else. So Jamie, that would be then in Norwegian Jenny. Is that okay?
Jenny.
Jenny is probably a girl's name, sorry.
Oh.
Jeppe.
Jeppe.
If I could call you that, it would be easier for me and my fellow Norwegians to get around your name.
Jeppe Andrews.
Andrews, we will sløyf. It means that it's stum. We will let it fade out in a way, and I'll just call you Jeppe for this course, just to make it easy for our...
Is that like to do with the name Zahid being a very Norwegian name?
Yes, my name is Zahid, and lots of my fellow Norwegian friends have problems pronouncing it. So they would rather call me Mr.
Mr. Ali.
Just Mr.
Oh, like Mr. T?
No, yeah, just Mr. because the name is difficult. So one of my best friends, or my closest friends, they call me Mr. Hey, Mr.
Okay, so we've got Mr. and what was my new name again?
There are not so many høflighetsfraser, you know what that is?
What's a høflighet?
Høflighet is politeness phrases in Norway. Like Mr. is a kind of a politeness way of saying, hey, you!
Like the famous Norwegian hæ?
Hæ? Yeah, but hæ is more like what? So if you're calling out someone, then one have a tendency in Norway especially to use English expressions or words like Mister, eller du der, but Mister. So, but you are Jeppe for now, and I would like you to tell me a little about who are you?
Well, jeg ikke en kvinne.
Beg your pardon?
Jeg ikke en kvinne.
Du ikke en kvinne, nei?
Yeah.
So you are not a woman?
No, I'm not a woman.
That's a nice start by telling me everything you are not, and then we'll find out after 17 years what you actually... Oh, you haven't said the human. But I'd be interested, because you just came to Norway. Tell me something, tell me about that. And what do you know about the language? You can say, jeg ikke en kvinne. You can tell me your story and why.
So, I came over to Norway as a foreigner, My main intention was to use the welfare, the health stuff, maybe not contribute to society in any way, shape or form. Maybe still a Norwegian woman as well. So basically, I still remember 1,200 years ago with the Vikings, you see, that we still remember that in England. So I thought I'd just come and get my own back.
Nice jokes, Jamie, but why are you in Norway?
Oh, the missus is Norwegian and she made me.
She made you?
Well, I live in an area in London.
Område.
Områd?
Yeah, Område is an area.
I live in an områd in London. And it's quite famous for being pretty rough. And roughed.
Yeah.
A roughed områd.
And what do you mean by rough? It's
lots of crime, lots of fighting. It's quite a bad area for gangs. And the thing is, my missus, who is Norwegian, she grew up in a really nice part of Westfold. So the idea of...
Did you say Vestfold?
Yeah, the Westfold.
Yeah, right.
She made me say it a lot.
That's the Norwegian word, Vestfold. It's a county.
Yeah, and you've got the cheese fold as well, haven't you?
Cheese folds.
Yeah, cheese. You've got Westfold and Ostfold.
Ikke Ostfold, men Østfold.
Isn't that cheese?
Yeah, that's Ostfold. If an Englishman writes Østfold, he wouldn't write it with an Ö, he would write it with an U, and that becomes a folded cheese. That's interesting. Yeah.
An Ö and an U, isn't that the same thing?
Well, you have 3 letters in Norway that you don't have any other places in the world. So Norwegians are very proud of these 3 letters that they have gathered as hunter-gathering for many thousand years, and they have these 3, and it's actually the same words that are used most commonly in porno films. It's and o. So the best way to learn it is to just watch an adult movie. But that's not the reason why they have it here. It's just a hack. I gave you a hack. Hack.
So a hack for learning the 3 letters is to watch a lot of porn.
Adult movies, yes. We have lots of younger listeners.
Oh, sorry. So adult movies like...
Inspect Her Gadget, for example. So tell me more about the town you're from. It looks so we can try to... For now, you live in Horten.
So, yeah, I live in Horten.
So you come from where and you ended up where, and how do you feel about it? Try to use as much Norwegian words that you can, so I will have an idea of what kind of guy I'm in front of.
Jeg bor I Horten.
Very good. You live in Horten. Yes.
No, I'm bored. I'm very bored in Horten.
I'm sorry. Okay.
It's a quiet place. But yeah, I moved from a place called Croydon in South London. For reference, for anyone that likes football, the Premier League, that would be Crystal Palace would be the local team. And the thing about Croydon is it's quite consistently voted one of the worst places to live in the UK, and has been for about 10 to 20 years. Yeah.
Why?
Well, just general crime. It's quite a popular pastime in Croydon.
Now you know that I'm an immigrant guy, and you're an immigrant. So this course is actually an immigrant teaching an immigrant English. So if a white person would ask this question, it would probably be racist.
Okay.
And here it comes, the question. Who is behind the most of this criminality in Croydon? Is it immigrants or is it local inhabitants?
I would say, because the interesting thing about Croydon is it's where the main immigration centre is for London, other than the border in Dover.
Immigration center. Okay.
I can see
The main-
you're having far too much fun with that.
The main immigration center for Great Britain?
Yeah, it's there's a few buildings there where a lot of the immigration applications come through and are caseworked and stuff like that. But I would say, realistically, a lot of the crime just comes from gangs or from just drunks, people out fighting. It's quite a rough area. So, I mean, it's not unusual to see fights, like, quite regularly, just walking around. Like, even in the daytime, you see it sometimes. A good example, actually, is when the girlfriend came to visit, and we were in this board game cafe. And we were with a few friends, and they went outside to have a little smoke, and we're chatting to them outside, and my girlfriend's saying how much she likes the area, and it's how, this place is so nice. It's really quiet. There's at least 2 or 3 police sirens have gone past in the background while she's saying it. She didn't notice any of it. And as she's telling us how much she likes the area and how nice it is, we literally see a guy on the other side of the road with blood pouring out of his head. And it was Sunday evening. It was only about 7 in the evening. And then just darting down an alleyway to get away from something. It's obvious something's happened.
Wow.
And we're just watching that while she's turning around and saying, oh, it's such a nice area. There's all this nice stuff. Everyone seems so lovely, blah, blah, blah. And yeah, the 3 of us were just literally watching a guy with blood pouring out of his head dart down an alleyway.
That's what you would call a Sunday roast, isn't it? So, but why did your girlfriend come? How did she meet you?
Oh, so we met at university. And when we were together for 3 years at that point, and it gets to the stage, doesn't it, when you've been together for that long, where you have to make a decision, and that is, do you either break up, do you try long distance, or do you try and stay in one of the countries? And obviously she's Norwegian from Horten. I'm English from Croydon, and it was a lot safer and a lot more appealing for me to move to Horten and adjust to Norwegian life than it was for her to move to London and try and adjust to London life.
But isn't it? Now you've moved here to Horten, and there's not much happening. And you can, and the fight you were talking about on Sundays with the blood pouring out of, is that you can see that on the National Day maybe, or on Christmas later at night, or within the home's 4 walls, domestic violence. But it's not so commercial as in England, where you have it outside. Don't you miss it, even though it's bad? You get a kind of...
It's different. Like, it took me a while to learn how to get to sleep in Norway because it was so quiet. Like, I'm used to cars, sirens, not just police, but ambulances. It's a very populated part of the world I lived in. So
even the ambulance there has a lyddemper.
A what?
Lydless. Like you have the cell phone on soundless. Just even the ambulance here has vibration.
That's impressive, isn't it?
Just not to wake up people. Oh, that was a Norwegian joke.
Do you know what? I couldn't tell because actually,
I'm sorry.
The technology and some of the things in Norway is so drastically different.
Oh, yes. And okay, let's cut to France, which means let's cut to the chase.
We're not just taking the road down to Dover and then...
No, because of the tunnel, then you'll end up in France. Cut to friends. Yeah, that's right. Okay, never mind that. It's just figure of speech from another country. You know, I have a lot of course from different countries, and sometimes I mix. So now I mixed some Azerbaijani word quotes and didn't fit. So why would you want to learn to speak so remotely? We need to ask these questions, and I know that they're painful and they might bring up some bad memories or something. But why would you want to learn a so remote language? Sorry, my voice. Excuse me. Why would you? Is it worth it? Because when you learn this language that we'll use 17 years on, you can just use it here. You can go back to Croydon and speak English. Norwegian, sorry.
So I think the main reason that I want to learn Norwegian is because I'm nosy and I want to listen to what people are saying when they're talking.
You like gossip?
I love gossip.
And
doesn't matter what language, the better the gossip.
And you're afraid that people maybe talk behind your back about you?
Oh, I hope they are. I hope they bond over disliking me. But no, I think I just like to know what's going on. I want to be able to listen to someone talking in the shop or on the bus, even though I don't belong in the conversation, and just be like, that's interesting or not.
You don't belong here. Which song is that? I don't belong here.
Oh God.
See, you're already...
It's making me feel old.
Losing your British culture. So, okay. Do you have any questions for your teacher?
Yeah, I've got a few actually. So,
a few?
Yeah, a few, one or two.
En eller to. We'll teach you the language.
En eller to.
Og telle. Yes, very good, Jamie. En eller to.
En eller to. So eller is all.
Eller
in English.
Eller er or, yeah.
And n is one.
But går det bra, eller? Are you okay, or?
Yeah, I'm okay.
Or else what? Yeah. So you can use eller as English, like or else, or ellers.
Or ellers.
This is my Apple Watch. Sometimes it has an urge to speak.
What did it say?
I can't find any candy shops nearby. Så jeg finner dessverre ingen godteributikker I nærheten. That's a difficult word I'll teach you. Because, you know, this is a 10-episode show, and the last episode you will be reading, because my goal is that you can read Norwegian after the first season. And then you will read the book. Its name is Småviltjakt of Dag Kjelsås. And this book is a bit difficult for new beginners, so I hope we will manage to learn quite some Norwegian during these 17 episodes. And this book is about småviltjakt, og at den like mangfoldig som antall arter, og gir rom for store variasjoner. Enten du jakter med rifle eller hagle, alene eller sammen med andre, vil du møte mange spennende utfordringer. Og denne boken får du ikke bare en generell innføring I jaktformene, men den er også spektet med gode tips og erfaringer som vi vil komme godt til både nybegynnere og erfarne jegere til gode. So this is an interesting book, but it has difficult words, and it will also help you a little because it has some English words like name of guns and patroner and bullets. So I've helped you a little with choosing a book which has a lot of shotgun names that are British, like Winchester, rifles, and so on. So, but that is in the last episode. You will read this book for 40 minutes, and that will be the exam. So your question to me was, as your teacher?
So I was thinking maybe that you could give a brief introduction about yourself, who you are. And... Yeah, very nice.
Well, I'm Zahid Ali, and I am your instructor. And the reason why I'm teaching Jamie Norwegian, is in fact that, integrering et samfunnsansvar. Integraring. What's that in English? Intercourse? No, integration.
Integration.
It's a social responsibility, as Norwegians say. Samfunnsansvar. And you can't help everybody. You just can't. And there are very much immigrants in Norway today. Det er mange innvandrere. And the society, the politicians, the apparater that are around us, apparates, they're not good enough.
So
the machinery isn't good enough to integrate everybody. And they're keeping on having more immigrants. And when I look around, I see people speak a lot of languages, but one, and that's Norwegian. So it is a social responsibility which I have taken personally. You can't help everybody, but you can help one.
So, what made you choose me as your one person to help?
You were living in my neighborhood, and I. But it's more specific than that. It's not. It was the height and age, and the color of your nose that made the difference. No, it was. I saw you had trouble talking Norwegian in a shop, and I said, "Hey, it's my responsibility. I can't help everybody in the shop, but I can help you." So yeah, I feel I'm very lucky, and it gives me great satisfaction to tilfredsstillelse is satisfaction to help you.
What was the word for satisfaction? Tilfredsstillelse.
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 Stillelse. Tilfreds.
Tilfreds.
Still. Else.
Elsa.
So that's my technique to chop it up in small parts. Til. Fred.
Fred.
Not Fred, that's the name of somebody.
Oh, I thought it was like...
Fred.
And then I thought Elsa was a name as well.
It is, unfortunately. It's two names hidden in that. Maybe the word is trying to tell us something.
Tilfred Steele Elsa.
Yes! Oh my goodness!
Oh, nice.
Sorry, it was... I didn't find the applause button, but I didn't mean to laugh. Yes, tilfredsstillelse.
Tilfredsstillelse Elsa.
Can you say it faster?
Tilfredsstillelse.
Yeah, and can you try to use that in a sentence?
I can't remember what the word was supposed to mean.
Satisfaction.
Oh, satisfaction. Jeg tilfredsstillelse.
Jeg kan ikke...
I can't not.
Få noe tilfredsstillelse.
I can't get no satisfaction.
Yes, jeg kan ikke få noe jeg kan ikke bli tilfredsstilt.
Is that been resung in Norwegian, that song?
No, because of the word tilfredsstillelse, it's like too much going on in the word. Satisfaction is it's floating. Tilfredsstillelse, it's like floating in the mud with lots of rocks hitting your face.
Yeah,
so it's not a perfect...
doesn't have the same flow, does it?
Tilfredsstillelse.
I can't see Mick Jagger.
It's difficult. Unless he's in my course and he learns to say it a couple of hundred times, then I'll think, because you can say it fast, tilfredsstillelse.
You can say tilfredsstillelse.
Yeah, and that's in Norwegian, that you say things so fast that you jump over a couple of letters. Tilfredsstillelse. What I basically now said is tilfredsstillelse.
Tilfredsstillelse.
Yeah, to make it easier. So
is that a dialect? Is that a part of...
No, that's the Norwegian bokmål, the main language. So, do you have any more questions for me? Because
yeah, so I've got two that you might find useful. What do you think will be the most important thing for me to learn about Norwegian culture and society and living in Norway?
Very good question. Veldig bra spørsmål. Det viktigste jeg tror, den store utfordringen, the big challenge, would be, siden du kommer fra en litt sånn høyklassekultur i ditt eget hode, since you think you're from a better, bigger society and lots of bragging and British, this and that, and you are a Saxon king and coming to this remote place, what you're learning now is not better or worse. It's just different.
That's very Janteloven-y. Is that right? Is it Janteloven?
Oh, you've heard that word. That's an own episode we will have later. But that's interesting that you've heard that word. Is that word common in England? Do they use that word?
Jentelov.
Jentelov is rules for girls. That's something else.
Oh, okay.
This is Janteloven.
Janta.
Oh! You know what just happened?
What?
It's time for our first post. First post. Okay, Jamie. And this is interesting. It's word of the week. Word of the week. Ja, beklager, jeg kom bort til gresshopper-knappen. It's a grasshopper. So, word of the week. This week, Jamie, you've stayed in Norway for a couple of weeks now. The favorite word of this week, which is in Norwegian, and what word is it?
I'm going to say my word for the week this week is tusenben.
Tusenben?
Yeah, tusenben. 1,000 leg. The bug.
Ah, so you liker tusenben, the insect?
Yeah, because like in the UK it's called a centipede.
Centipede?
And centi obviously comes from the word 100. So in the UK it would be called 100 legs if you broke the word down.
Oh, so they are smaller in England?
I think they're the same size. I just like the exaggeration from going from 100 to 1,000. Tusenben.
So how many legs do a tusenben have?
I think less than 100.
In England?
They're both wrong.
Have you counted them? Maybe,
well, all of the centipedes or just the legs?
Just the legs of one.
No, but I shouldn't I? Have you counted?
You need to have your facts right in this course.
Oh, sorry.
I'm at 769 now, but just give me a couple of more minutes. No, so centipede, but that it doesn't describe anything, and it's a Latin word for something. Why would they not just call it tusenbein, 1,000 legs, just so it would be easier to find it?
Is it
or know about it? Is
it a leg or is it legs? Tusenbein.
It's a leg, but you don't bend legs. It's not beins or beiner. Det er bein. So it's tusenbein means 1,000 legs.
Oh, but you just don't put the S on the end for anything in Norway.
No.
So if I was saying like the tusen takk, which means 1,000 thanks, it would directly translate as 1,000 thank.
Yeah, or 1,000 tacks. It's thanks, or 1,000 thank.
There's levels, isn't there, in the word thank you? In Norway, isn't there? There's takk, tusen takk.
Yeah.
Takk skal du for meg ha, which is thank you for nothing. Is that right?
It's you have the swearing in the middle, which is not common. But you know some Norwegian.
Yeah, they taught me. I remember coming over to visit for Christmas, and they said that the way that you say thank you is takk skal du for meg ha.
Oh,
and
that's takk skal du ha.
Oh, it's thanks shall you. So takk is thank, skal is shall, do is you, and ha is have, right?
Yeah. So you need to mix it differently than in English. So tusenbein is it's many Norwegian words are descriptions of what you see. So like, and that makes some of the Norwegian words easier. Like in England, what do you call the, the frog children? Children.
Frog children? What do I call the frog children?
What do you call your frog childrens? Mine is Erik og Jens. No, I mean like what do you call when frogs?
Actual frogs. You're not being racist.
Actual frogs?
Okay, yeah. So tadpoles.
Dad's poles?
Tad. Tadpoles.
What does a tad mean?
I don't know actually. I've never broken down the word and thought of it.
Yeah, that's where Norwegian is superior.
Yeah.
Because in Norwegian it's rumpetroll. Butt trolls.
They're called butt trolls.
Yeah, they look like butts and they come out of the butt and they're like trolls in a way. They're not hairy or huge and it's not growing trees on their head, but rumpetroll.
Trolls in Norway grow trees on their heads.
Yes. So combing is a very difficult task for, because then you need to, you have woods among your hair. Oh yeah.
I never knew that. So
Norwegian fairy tales would be another episode in season 2.
I think so, yeah. So they're called, and rumpa means butt.
Rumpe means butt.
Rumpa.
But how much do you know about trolls since you're so...
So in the UK, there's not a massive, real big fairy tale tradition other than Billy Goat Gruff, the story with the 3 goats going over the bridge.
Billy Goat Gruff?
Yeah. You get the baby goat goes over the bridge and the troll jumps out and says...
Here it's the tre bukkene bruse.
Tre bukkene bruse?
Yeah. De tre bukkene bruse. And you have Harry Goes Trout?
But Billy Goat Gruff.
Billy Goat Gruff?
Billy, as in the name Billy.
Yes.
Goat.
Goat.
And then Gruff.
Billy Goat Gruff? What's Gruff?
That's the name of the billy goat.
Okay. I'm happy it's not an English course.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you have trolls. And I have noticed that there are people have problems with, don't know so much about trolls. Like, for example, I was in Oslo a couple of years back and I was going up Karl Johan, the main gate, not the gate, the gågate, a walking place. And an American tourist came to me and my friends and said, "Excuse me, do you know where I can buy trolls?" And I said, "Trolls? No." Or, yeah. There's a local souvenir shop on Aker Brygge. You can go and buy trolls there. And then he said to me, "Hey man, listen, I'm not into the souvenirs and stuff. You're from here, right? Yeah. When you buy trolls, where do you buy trolls?" So,
oh no.
So the Norwegian gets a lot of strange questions. You get stupid questions like,
"Where do you get those real trolls? Those real Norwegian trolls?"
"Oh, my parents make my trolls. They're making one right now. You." And
got some trolls in my pond, butt trolls.
And there's another guy who asked, "Hey, when does the fjord open today?" And the fjord's open at 10 o'clock all over the country.
That's nice. Yeah, everyone knows the fjord opens at 10 o'clock, though. That's maybe it was a definite tourist thing. He just didn't look it up.
Oh, Jamie, it's another post.
Oh.
We have our faste poster in the show, and that's the music for it. Yes, it's school time, and that's from abroad. So, Jamie, do you have anything? You get lots of, since you moved to Norway, you have lots of questions, mails, phone calls from friends, people who ask you things about Norway. Like, so what do you have today for us?
So I actually asked a few people if they had any questions, if they wanted to get to me to ask for this this today. And I've got a question that's quite interesting from a cousin of mine called Ralph.
Ralph?
Ralph.
Like a dog barking? Ralph.
Is that?
Oh, Rolf.
Ralph.
Rolf.
Rolf. No, not Ralph. Ralph.
That's the name?
Yeah, Ralph. Big Ralph, we call him.
So it's written R-A-U-F?
R-A-L-F.
Ralph.
Ralph, that's it.
Oh, yeah, Ralph.
That very exotic name, Ralph. So Ralph wants to know, what is the difference between Bokmål and Nynorsk, and why are there two different written languages?
Well, it's a good question, but it's not as much as in India, where you have like 16. So I hope that answered the question. That's a very difficult question, I think. The stuff with New Norse, I don't think we should bother. I think we, especially the new generation, and me, we are raised up to have negative thoughts about nynorsk. I don't know why we learn nynorsk. It's something about learning a second language makes your first language stronger.
What? How new is Nynorsk?
I don't know. It's an old. It's the old Norwegian kind of language.
But then shouldn't it be called Old Norse?
It should just be called Danish, but that's another language. I don't know why we learned it, but when we get a dictionary and when we are at school, and that's called Nynorsk ordbok.
Nynorsk or a book?
Not horebok. That's a prostitute customer. It's horebok. Or a hooker, male. Ordbok.
So they teach you about hookers in school?
No. Sorry, it was a digression. Digression?
Yeah.
It was nynorsk ordbok. Ordbok.
Ordbok.
Yes, but not like the bird.
I was really proud of myself for making that noise, and it was an accident.
That's tiur makes or.
Tiur?
Tiur in English is difficult for me to say. Tiur. That's a bird. It's a big bird, big black bird with fucked up posture. Its posture is very stolt.
It's posture.
Posture, yes. Very big black bird lays on the ground, and you'll read about it when you read Norwegian in the last episode about hunting small birds. The tiur is quite big, actually.
I look forward to it.
So nynorsk. So they used to write every time you got a book. It was written all over a spynorsk mordliste, which is a common saying in Norway, like puke Norwegian murder list people, and that's been done for generations since nynorsk came to the.
So Nynorsk became a language, and then everyone got given a book called the Murder List.
Yeah, they made it like that. Nobody likes the language they're like raised to, and it's like there's a theater in Oslo that they have one policy, and that's just speak New Norwegian. And most of the actors who work there, they don't speak New Norwegian. They have to speak that language in order to have the job. So, and they have lots of international plays. Everything is in nynorsk. Like if you have James Bond, or it's like Jeg heter Bond, James Bond til dømes.
James Bond.
Yeah, I think
That
so.
sounds.
So, so that's and then it's our. We have a new post.
Dun, dun, dun.
And that's today. And we will have the same post in every episode. Jeppe. And that's so we have a structure. And today we'll test out, this is almost the last post before we will check out Jeg ikke en kvinne, how you can use that in daily life, and if you pronounce it right, we will send you out on a mission
Okay.
to use that word. But today you're going to test out the Norwegian dish or
Okay.
Norwegian food. And you have that in front of you here.
Yeah. So I've been looking at this for a while,
Yes.
and
You have a plate in front of you and you have
Yeah.
knekkebrød, breaking bread
knekkebrød
with brown cheese.
with brown cheese,
And that brown cheese is made of goat.
actual goat.
An actual, not an artificial goat. This
so-
one is real.
What the
No, not the bread.
not the meat? The
the milk.
goat's milk.
Yeah.
Okay.
So people have a little prejudice against goats, don't they?
I
Like-
think in Norway, do they? In the UK, I think it's more of a price thing.
It's more expensive.
Yeah. So you're less likely to drink goat milk than.
Yeah, because here they don't drink so much goat milk and geitemelk. It's like almost sounds like kind of spermish stuff.
Geitermilk.
Yeah, and maybe because people, because they have small titties, the goats,
Goats have small tits.
and they have a lot of hair on it. So it's something like milking balls with titties. I don't know. So it's something masculine about drinking goat's milk, but everybody eats brown cheese, which is basically exactly the same.
I don't know what to say to that, because all I've got now is an image of you milking a goat. So, subject change. How's brown cheese made? Is it just made the same way as normal cheese?
I don't know how it's made, but it's there it is.
Okay, right. I'm going to give it a try.
What do you think about the smell?
It smells. It smells like caramel, which is interesting. Doesn't smell like cheese at all, really.
Ost, brunost.
Ost, brunost. So brun is brown,
Yes.
and ost is cheese,
Ost,
like Ostfold from earlier.
ost. You have a long vocal. You have long vocals and you have short vocals. You have, like we are in Horten.
Horten.
Yeah, if you've been here, if you're the mayor of Horten, you would say Horten in this posh way. Horten.
Is that the proper way to say it? Horten. Like
That's
that.
the very proud way to say it.
Like you're talking. You can't be proud saying that, surely, because it's embarrassing. Because you sound like you're just talking through. Oh yeah, I live in Horten.
Horten.
Yeah.
Horten. Yeah, you need to say it with this Horten. So it's a fast vocal. But this is brunost.
Brunost.
Brunost. Ost, a long vocal.
Brunost.
Yeah. Now I've detected that you have problems with O and O.
Ooh.
So every time you feel like saying O, just say oo.
Ooh.
Do you have a word in English which contains the oo?
Ooh. Yeah. Ooh.
That's right. So now you're eating brunost
Brunost.
on a breaking
All right.
bread knekkebrød. That's
Cracker
very
bread and
Norwegian.
Brunost, right. Get ready for the crunch. It's very dry.
Yes, you should have soaked it in water for an hour at least till it becomes a sponge.
It's very dry, but it's nice. It's where do I start? So the cracker bread, it's like a sesame flavored Rivita in this case.
What's
For
a
the
Rivita?
English. A cracker, a long, skinny cracker in the UK. And the Brunost itself has got a sort of sour caramelness to it. So, but the texture of cheese, which I'm guessing where the Ost comes from, it's interesting. I think it would be nice with something else for me.
What about a glass of milk?
Or goat's milk or just normal milk?
No. That's overkill.
So just milk.
And with a lamb, goat hat, wig. No, it's
a goat hat wig.
No, you should. It's breakfast. Very nice breakfast and a mellommåltid between the meals.
What's a mellommåltid?
Mellommåltid. So it's the måltid. You know what the måltid is? A meal.
Oh, okay.
And in between meals.
A snack. Like
yeah, a snack. And you have mellomleggspapir.
Mellomleggspapir.
Yeah, so when you make a matpakke, a Norwegian matpakke, you know what that is? That's
matpack is
when you matpakke.
So mat is food, isn't it?
Yeah.
So a food pack.
Food pack.
Oh, so it's like a packed lunch.
Yeah.
In the UK.
So what do you have in between the bread slices and the pålegg?
A pålegg?
Pålegg, the thing you have on the bread.
Oh, just like your toppings.
Toppings.
Okay.
Toppings.
So it could be ham or cheese or anything.
Yes, there are no limits for pålegg.
Are there really no limits?
No. And in Norway, if you go to a restaurant and you order tapas, the Norwegian tapas, which is supposed to be like Spanish tapas, is basically pålegg.
Oh.
That's why.
So they put it on bread?
No, they serve pålegg in small amounts and they charge 100 kroners for it.
Oh,
but that's another
really,
story, I mean. So mellomleggspapir is what, like in England, when you go to work, between the breads and the toppings, what do you put?
Another piece of bread.
But you have a paper in between, right?
No, you just go bread, toppings, bread, and you've got a sandwich.
So you don't have mellomleggspapir, small, thin layer of paper, which sucks up the condense, the fuktig moisture.
No, I mean, you might wrap it in cling film or...
cling film?
Aluminium foil. Yeah, like plastifilm, I think it is.
That's more for preserving the freshness of food or hotness, but not mellomleggspapir. Well,
No mellomleggspapir. It's just another piece of bread.
Wow. Okay, I didn't know that. So this is very interesting here when you have a matpakke, and that's also a big distinction from immigrants and Norwegians. You can see on their matpakke, of course. Immigrants have mostly, or with my background, Pakistani, they have stew as a matpakke on school, and that's
on bread.
No, just stew from the day before, which they have in big plates with the curries. But if you have an immigrant child and a Norwegian child, and both have the same matpakke, bread with cheese and smør, butter. The only thing that would distinct them would be mellomleggspapir. The Norwegians would have that to take the moisture and the Pakistani guy,
yeah.
he would...
he wants it moist.
Or he hasn't understood or invented in his brain. That has a problem. It isn't a big problem, but it helps because it keeps everything separated. But what do you think about knekkebrød med brunost? That's my question.
I think I like the cracker bread more than the brunost.
Okay.
I think that's nice. I think I like the brunost, but I think I'd need it with something else. I think on its own, it's a bit too sour for me for an aftertaste.
And what would you want with that?
I don't know. Can you have bacon with it? Does that work?
Oh, you mean to have more on the breaking bread?
Yeah, would that work? Bacon or ham or...
Or bacon in Europe, isn't that just works with everything? You can even daddle. I've seen daddles.
A daddle?
And a daddle.
That sounds like something that would get you arrested. What's a daddle?
Daddle. I thought daddle was the name daddle all over the world because it's the oldest candy in the world.
Okay.
You know the black thing with the long grows on palm trees? In Egypt, they just eat daddles. If you come to heaven, you get honey, you get milk, rivers of milk, and you can eat as much daddles you want.
Can we...
What's daddle?
I've got no idea what daddle is.
Daddle. Oh my God.
Can we ask?
Daddle.
Daddle, right. We're both jumping onto Google Translate straight away for anyone not.
So while you find daddle...
Okay, you're going to have to spell it for me.
Daddel.
D-A-D-D.
So that's the question for our viewers. If you know what daddel is in English, please send us a mail on... don't say it. Jamie, do you have a mail address?
A daddle.
A daddle. Then you can send a mail to...
What email are we going to use?
Okay, we'll come back to that.
We'll come back. We'll cut that in, I guess.
So what's daddle in English?
Date.
Which date?
It is a date.
A date? So if you're going on a blind date, you
I
have a
don't
daddle
think
without a stone?
I don't think any daddles have eyes, so I think they're all blind dates, if you think about it. Yeah.
That's deep. So back to the knäckebröd with brown cheese, because that was the main topic.
So a daddle might be nice with brown cheese.
I don't think so. It's sweetness on sweetness. I think... so you really miss something when you're eating it? Like your family?
Like, let me lay on the couch and tell you my life problems. No, it's... I feel like there should be something else with it. Because the sourness is really nice, the aftertaste.
Vi snakker om knäckebröd med brunost. For our Norwegian viewers, I have
to tell. And sort of like the caramel sort of front that you get when you first bite into it and smell it is quite pleasant. But yeah, I think it needs something either salty, like you would get from bacon, or maybe something a bit more sweet or fruity.
But can you eat it? Can you eat it every day?
Could I eat that every day?
Yeah.
With bacon.
Okay.
I think.
And what would you prefer to drink to knäckebröd med brunost?
Well, a cup of tea, I guess.
Yes, that's very good.
Yeah, very English cup of tea.
Yeah, and a cup of tea with that is excellent.
Yeah, I can see why coffee might work with that, actually.
Coughing?
Coffee.
Oh, yes.
Kaffe.
Kaffe, yeah. I prefer white cheese and gulost with the coffee. Oh. Not the brown, because it melts and it gets sticky and it gets another texture that isn't very good with the coffee.
Wait, you dip brunost in coffee?
No, just eat it on a cracker bread. But I prefer a glass of milk with it. So can you give it a terningkast?
A terningkast? That's a
dice. Throw the dice.
Throw. So if I was going to give it a dice throw, I would give it a solid 3. A 3
as a breakfast?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's average. I wouldn't go... Yeah, because 1's obviously going to be awful, I guess. And then 6 is going to be fantastic. As far as breakfast go, I think brunost is is a solid 3. Hiya.
Hallo, det Hans-Niklas.
Jeg heter Jeppe.
Hei.
Hei, jeg ikke en kvinde.
Du
Ja, jeg ikke en kvinde.
Nei, du prøver å ringe fri du nå, kanskje. Da har du nok feil nummer. Jeg ikke en kvinde. Nei, men du har ringt feil nummer du nå, tror jeg. Du skal ringe til fri, kanskje. Nei, men hvis du vil notere et annet nummer av meg. Telefonnummer.
En tusenbein.
Ja, ok.
Ja.
Det sånn at du ønsker å prate med noen om det?
Ja. Thank you for listening to the Language Power podcast. If you're interested in anything else, please give us a follow on Facebook.